Well, hello everyone. It's Granny Linda again. Grab your favorite beverage and come on and sit at my table and let's get into part 9. We're looking at the interview of Chris and Katie Proudfoot with Holly Thompson, and the behavior panel is kind of reviewing Chris and Katie's behavior during this interview. I thought it was kind of a different take on something. And if you have not subscribed to the behavior panel, I encourage you to do so. I've seen so many of their videos and they do an awesome job. I'm not saying that I always agree with them, but each one of them are professionals in their own right, and they give a really good insight into behavioral patterns of people, especially in criminal cases. So I really like what they have to say, and I thought it'd be kind of an interesting take on, instead of just watching this video again, because that's what we're kind of doing. We're going back to the beginning and we're looking at all the interviews that were done. Excuse me, I have to take a sip of water. Sorry about that. So yes, we're looking at going back to the beginning, looking at all of the interviews that were done. And I thought on this one, since there was this behavior analysis, that we would look at it this way and see what we could find, because the main goal is to find Sebastian Rogers, the 15-year-old autistic male, 110 pounds, dirty blonde hair, and he went missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee, from his mother and stepfather's home on February 25th, 26th, somewhere in there. Late night on the 25th, early morning 26th. His mother said that when she got him up to get ready for school on the 26th, he was not there. All the doors were locked, and there is I repeat, no evidence of him having walked out of that home, which is kind of interesting in itself, right? So without further ado, I'm going to present my screen to you, and we're going to continue to go through this interview.
Did he have any friends that could have possibly contacted him in some way on his phone?
All his friends at school have been questioned to my knowledge, and none of them knew anything.
So this big question mark. He's vanished.
Yes, ma'am.
No one can figure out where or why. All right. So let's talk too about the relationship involved, because the biological father is very much involved in Sebastian's life as well.
Yes, ma'am. Very much.
Right. And how would you describe that relationship, the two of them and the four of you?
It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy. And I mean, he doesn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row.
In two different households, and the communication between the three of us is great. I mean, yes, we're just like every parent. We all have our disagreements, but in the end, we come together as a team and we work and we come up with solutions that as we best see fit. I mean, I'm almost in contact with him almost daily.
Let's talk about Sebastian. Tell me about Sebastian. How would you describe him?
Sweet, stubborn. He loves to help. He loves running, and he loves to play his games and his fidgets and Uno. Lord, that's one of his favorite games right now. Favorite color is green.
Does he love music?
Oh, he loves music.
An eclectic taste.
I
An
mean,
eclectic. I mean, from as everybody knows, Eye of the Tiger to Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So we got Pearl Jam on one hand, we've got Survivor on the other over here, we've got Taylor Swift, and
he's got a big crush on her. I mean, country, rock,
no
classic.
hip hop. We don't allow the hip hop.
Well, he doesn't really
Well,
get
I say
into it
rap and
anyways.
things.
You mentioned he loved running. So did he love the outdoors at all? I mean, would something outside that was somewhat outdoorsy be enticing to him or pull him outdoors?
He loves, like, when we were in California and the school had this lap thing to gain money. It was a fundraiser. And every year I did this many laps. I did this many laps. I mean, I've got T-shirts where they would write on his back. Every time the kids went around, they'd mark a mark on the back and they'd keep running. And he just had marks all the way across his back. He likes playgrounds. He hates being dirty. He don't like being dirty.
Yeah, he's not your tomboy style child where he goes outside and plays in the mud.
He loves animals, but he's terrified of bugs.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, even a fly, and he's like,
All right, Chase, what do you got?
Both of them are expressing truthful recall when they're listing all these things that Sebastian likes to do. They speak about him in present tense, like he's still around. This shows us a couple of things. Parents who know the disposition of a deceased child are more likely to accidentally default to past tense when referring to them. And parents who speak in past tense about a child who aren't involved can show that there's a finality to their feelings, like they no longer have faith in the child returning.
Okay, I find this very interesting. So they're speaking in the present tense about Sebastian. However, they have not said Sebastian's name. Today is October 17th, 2024. Sebastian's been missing for almost 8 months. I just saw an interview with Seth, with Vinnie Politan, and Seth very much believes that Sebastian is still alive. So, he is saying that they're talking as if he is still alive. What do they know is my question. And guys, I don't think that we are asking any unreasonable questions, right? I really don't. And the reason that I don't is because they were, Katie was the last one to see him. He disappeared from their home. So it's not unreasonable to ask the question, what do they know? Why are they speaking of him in, present tense? What do they know? Honestly, that gives me some hope. That gives me some hope that Sebastian is still alive, right? Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I really want to know.
So all the expressions here are genuine and unforced. And when they're both of them discussing his likes and dislikes, they're comfortable. All the facial expressions, the gestures, the movements match the syntax and the timing. They speak about all the things in present tense with genuine joy. And parents who are involved with a disappearance, even if they can look back fondly on a child's behaviors, are still having to manage perceptions and maintain deception, which keeps them from being this fluid and unconstrained in their descriptions. So this fear of being discovered mutes and muffles these expressions that you're seeing right here in this video that look very genuine to me, at least. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, the same. Look, very positive comments around the child. Only one negative one, which is about him being stubborn, which is then kind of laughed off, I think, in a very natural way. To be positive about him, and there's every reason why a child on the spectrum reaching teenage years is going to become more and more stubborn often in their behaviors. Not every child of that nature, not every child, but there is a possibility that this will be a thing for that family at the moment. They get really animated about the Sebastian's love of music. Clearly, that is a joy for them. It's they're proud. Both of them, they're proud, especially the stepfather, I think, shows that real engagement with the son around that music piece. There's clearly, they're proud of his love of music and his engagement with the music. And I think the stepfather seems to show some kind of strong relationship with the son around that music piece. Not the kind of thing that I would expect from two people who've been involved in some kind of.
Isn't that interesting? He feels that Chris and Sebastian shared the love of music. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility, right? I mean, they may have, you know. I don't know, a vision of them in a vehicle cranking up the music together and singing or something kind of comes in my head. I don't know where that came from, but just saying that, you know, that's kind of interesting. And having come from a step, you know, having been in a step family situation, there are moments when the step parent does bond with a child. So, you know, I found it unusual. I guess because in my mind I had a preconceived notion, again, my opinion, preconceived notion that Chris was not very close to Sebastian. So this kind of sheds a little bit different light on that. Tell me what you guys think. Let's continue.
Of crime around the child. Again, do I know that to be true? No, not what I would expect. So you'd need to give me lots of other evidence for me to see that would show me an alternative to this. Show it to me so I could see it, hear it, touch it. You know, we want evidence to the contrary, not just possibilities and ideas and imaginations around it. Greg, what do you think?
So let's first talk about clusters of behavior. And we always say you need cluster of behavior to indicate deception, but that's not the only thing clusters of behavior can indicate. You have to look for clusters that are positive, clusters that mean something else.
Bingo.
And there's a great one here. The stepfather's all locked down. He's in internal voice and his eyes zone out. They go out of focus. That means he's thinking to himself. He's inside his own head working. What's consuming him? You could automatically assign guilt to that. But it doesn't necessarily mean guilt. Uncertainty, other things, we can't tell that. What we can see is a cluster of behavior around ask about the child. What we would expect, and you both have just hammered this one, but what we would expect from a person who is trying to hide that they know the child is dead is not happy when they think about the weirdness of this kid who has all these, 14-year-old kids are mostly weird because they're trying to figure out what being an adult is while they're still a child. And this kid has got a lot of that. And they're amused by that. So he comes out of this absorption, this focus, this internal dialogue with a smile when they're talking about him being stubborn. Yeah, he's that. And you see all of that happiness. We know that a person who knows someone has passed, if you lose a child, you may never get back to the point you think positive things when that child is brought up or when you think about the goofiness of things they did. But you certainly wouldn't be okay with it right now. Good indicator. So clusters can be good or bad. We can see the person consumed by something and he doesn't come out of it into a negative, into a perception management, into one of those tools that we think people who have injured somebody or hurt somebody have. And he uses great illustrators when he's talking about he loved music here, he loved music here, Pearl Jam to look at that all these things together. So all of these pieces, and then real smiles as they talk about bugs and his panic when he would see bugs. They're amused by that. All those things are a cluster that usually would indicate this person's not involved. So I'm going to call that one out loud and clear. And Mark, to your point, can I be wrong? Sure. I'm not 100% right. If you think you're 100% right as a body language reader, you have no clue what you're doing. Let's just call that out right here. That's all I got.
All right. Should I go?
Oh, I thought you'd go.
No.
In that case,
No.
Scott, do you think you're
It always seems like I go because I talk first. That's why I'm last again.
Sorry.
So I've forgotten. It's okay now. I'll be okay.
You're not hurt.
So just not to reiterate all the stuff you guys went over, not to make it boring. The one thing that I think when they were talking about music, and they started talking about, he started saying how he doesn't let him listen to hip hop, and she says, "Well, he doesn't like that anyway." I think he was just putting that in there so to show that he cares about what he listens to, because I think music is probably important to him. Yeah, because a lot of people think hip hop's not music. Well, it's not his kind of music, but it may be one of those things where he doesn't want that kid out repeating what he said, in something that's rap, but he may just talk it and get his hind end busted.
One of those tape replays.
Okay. So what are your guys' thoughts? I mean, they even went so far as to say that the behaviors in this particular set do not show someone who is involved with the disappearance of Sebastian. So, sorry about that. My dog Lacey was acting up. Do you guys have that? Do you have dogs? Is the minute, I'm having grown children. The minute that I would get on the phone, my toddlers would act up, right? That's what my dog is doing right now. Oh my gosh. She's just being so naughty. Lacey, lay down. Oh, wow. So anyway, they were saying that they do not see behavior of someone that's involved when they look at, this set of where Chris is talking about Sebastian's love of music. And, I found it interesting that that's something that he and Sebastian shared, it seemed like. So, I don't know. I mean, I found this really interesting, but I still go back to, what do they know? Sebastian disappeared from their home. I stand on my conviction, my opinion, that Katie knows something. I really feel as though she does, and that's my opinion. Only because I don't think it's, too unreasonable to say that she was the last person to see him, and she's got to know something. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask those questions. I feel, and maybe she feels she has nothing more to say, but I don't know. I could be wrong, could be very wrong, but I feel like she knows something. That's my opinion. And, I stand by it. Even throughout this whole thing, I do feel that she was distraught in the beginning, very distraught, more so than I've seen her since. And they are talking about him in the present tense. So I guess what I'm saying so far in this interview with their behavior is they they either are innocent or they are very good at hiding behaviors. There are a few red flags. There's the anger, there's the contempt, there's, the fact that they have not said Sebastian's name yet. So, there's things to look at here, but I really want to know what you guys think. So please comment, comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Let's have a dialogue about that, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. I don't care. Just be kind about it. We're all adults, so we can agree to disagree, right? But just be kind. Let's be adults and let's be kind. I don't have a problem with anyone disagreeing with me. I do have a problem in anyone being disrespectful. Okay? So we're going to see you on the next video. We're going to continue this interview with Holly Thompson and the behavior panel. So we'll see you on the next one, you guys. Don't forget to put Sebastian's name and face out there every day. Light it up green for Sebastian, your porch, whatever you have to do. Let's tell the world that Sebastian's gone. If you know something, say something. Call 1-800-TBI-FIND, your local FBI office, or 833-TELL-DOG. Okay? All right. We will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.